Thank you, my amazing YouTube family. Ignore this intro. It's part of the original prompt and not the story itself. Champagne shimmered in the air. A low thrum of voices filled Greg's penthouse overlooking Central Park. Jessica was in her element, radiant, laughing, the life of this ridiculously lavish party. I, Mark, her husband, nursed a scotch, a quiet observer in her orbit. Greg's parties were always over the top, a monument to new money and questionable taste. Jessica loved them, thrived on the attention, the endless stream of admirers drawn to her like moths to a flame. I used to find it charming, her effortless magnetism. Tonight, though, it felt different, sharp. Midnight crept in. I needed air, escape from the forced smiles and empty chatter. The terrace was dimly lit, the city sprawling beneath a velvet sky. And there they were, Jessica and David, pressed together, a silhouette against the city lights. David's hand low on her back, his mouth close to her ear, whispering something that made her throw her head back and laugh, a real laugh, one I hadn't heard in years, genuine, carefree. I froze, glass halfway to my lips. Then David kissed her. Not a polite peck, a deep, lingering kiss, a possessive kiss, the kind that screams louder than words. Jessica's eyes flickered open, met mine across the terrace. For a heartbeat, just a flicker, guilt flashed across her face. Then, nothing. She pulled away, smoothed her dress, a pathetic attempt to erase what had just happened. Without a word, she turned, walked back inside. David stood there, a stunned deer in headlights. I stayed rooted to the spot, the city lights blurring. My mind went blank, then raced. Rage. Yes, hot and immediate. But underneath, something colder, sharper. Calculation. This wasn't just anger. This was strategy. By the time I re-entered the party, Jessica was gone. A few people noticed my absence, asked if I was okay. Just needed some air, I mumbled, waving them off. I stayed long enough to seem normal, then called a car, went home. The apartment was silent. Jessica's heels were by the door, her coat tossed over a chair. Upstairs in our bedroom, she was pretending to be asleep. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I poured a stiff drink, sat in the dark, the terrace scene replaying in my head. She thought I'd be upset, maybe yell, cry, accuse. She was wrong. Staring into the amber liquid, a plan began to form. She wouldn't just lose me. She would lose everything. Jessica didn't know it, but tonight was the start of her downfall. Morning came, bright and oblivious. Jessica breezed into the kitchen, hair tousled, wearing the silk robe I'd bought her for our anniversary. Coffee perked, a domestic tableau. She poured a cup, sat opposite me, all casual innocence. "Fun party last night?" she asked, voice light. I sipped my coffee, face neutral. "It was fine. You left early." Her hand twitched, a hairline crack in the facade. "Oh, yeah. Didn't feel well. Too much champagne, I think." The lie hung in the air, thick and sour. She was testing me, gauging my reaction. I gave her nothing. Instead, I smiled. "Maybe we should get away this weekend," I said, like it was a spontaneous thought. Just the two of us. Her eyes widened, a flicker of panic. Then that practiced smile returned. "That sounds nice." For a moment I thought she might confess, but no, the lie was easier. The next few days, I started gathering evidence. Not to save the marriage, to ensure she couldn't talk her way out of what was coming. Her phone was the first target. Passcode, same as always. Late one night, while she showered, I unlocked it, started digging. Messages, innocent at first glance. Friends, colleagues, family. Then, buried under a fake contact. Linda Yoga, a thread with David. Clever, but not clever enough. The messages were exactly what I expected. Flirty, then explicit. Months of it. Under my nose. While I played the oblivious husband, my fist clenched, but I forced myself to stay calm. Strategy, not anger. Next, her email, trickier. But Jessica wasn't as careful as she thought. Work laptop logged in. Jackpot. Emails less explicit, but just as damning. Hotel receipts for work trips. Suspiciously timed lunch meetings. Selfies sent to David. Her expression, intimate. More intimate than anything she'd given me in years. By the time I was done, I had enough. More than enough. Jessica brought up the weekend getaway. "Any ideas where we should go?" she asked, tone almost hopeful. I nodded. Cabin upstate, quiet, secluded, just us. She smiled, but hesitation flickered in her eyes. Worried about being cut off from David, probably. But she couldn't refuse. "Sounds nice," she said finally. "Good to reconnect." Reconnecting wasn't on my agenda. The week crawled by. I kept gathering intel. Location sharing on her phone. She never knew it was on. Meetings with David. Twice. Lunch in Soho. Then his apartment in the village. Photos. Timestamps. Video clips from my car parked down the street. By Friday, I had a dossier that could obliterate her life. But no satisfaction. Not yet. The game was just starting. That night, packing for the cabin, Jessica was unusually affectionate. Kisses on the cheek, fingers through my hair, even offered to cook dinner. Rare. Almost comical. She thought she was in control, that this little act would keep me in the dark. She had no idea. Loading bags into the car the next morning, I glanced at her. Smiled. "Ready?" She nodded, eyes bright, probably with relief. I started the engine, headed north. In her mind, this trip was a chance to salvage us. In mine, it was the next step in dismantling her. The drive was uneventful. Jessica chatted about the scenery, the change of pace, the city noise. I nodded, smiled, the attentive husband. Beneath the surface, my mind raced. Everything was in motion, counting on her obliviousness. The cabin was deep in the Catskills, a charming 2-story retreat. Tall pines, serene quiet. Jessica seemed genuinely excited. "This is perfect," she beamed, setting down a bag. "Thank you for planning this." I smiled back. Thought we could both use a break. The first evening, no drama. Dinner, wine by the fire, even laughter. A rare sound these days. To an outsider, we looked like a happy couple, but I wasn't interested in happiness. I was laying the groundwork. As Jessica drifted off to sleep, I stayed up. By the fire, phone in hand, checking progress. First step. Tip off Jessica's boss about her inappropriate relationships. Anonymous email. Explicit messages, photos attached. Subject, "For your eyes only." I imagine the fallout. Jessica, queen of corporate discretion, career built on trust, shattered. But that was just the beginning. Second day at the cabin. Let's hike, I suggested. Trail nearby, beautiful overlook. Coffee in a thermos. Jessica hesitated. Outdoor activities not her thing, but she smiled, agreed. The hike was steep. Jessica struggled, breath ragged. I stayed just ahead, guiding her. Phone buzzed in my pocket. Each vibration, another piece falling into place. Overlook reached. Jessica, exhausted, sat on a rock, forest sprawling below. "Beautiful," she gasped. "Glad we came." I sat beside her devoted husband. Water bottle offered. "It is," I agreed, tone calm. "Makes you think about what really matters." She glanced at me, something flickering in her eyes. Guilt? Fear? Didn't care. Evening. Cabin. Phone call from Mark, a mutual friend. Speakerphone. Jessica could hear everything. "Mark, have you seen the news?" Mark's voice, urgent. "News?" I feigned ignorance. "What's up?" "David," Mark said. "Nasty stuff leaked online, emails, pictures, all over the place. Affair, they're saying. Married woman, you know anything about it?" Jessica froze. Color drained from her face. Panic in her eyes. She said nothing. "No idea," I said, steady voice. "Surprising. Seemed like a stand-up guy." "Yeah, well," Mark said grimly. "Anyway, thought you'd want to know. Talk later." Call ended. Jessica excused herself. Bathroom. Muffled voice, frantic call. Trying to reach David. Didn't know I was monitoring her phone. Call didn't go through. David wasn't answering. Busy dealing with his own implosion. Later, Jessica returned, pale, drawn. "Everything okay?" I asked, neutral tone. Hesitated. "Just tired," she said. I didn't press. Let her stew, wonder, coincidence, design. As she went to bed, one last call. Lawyer. Already retained. By the end of this weekend, Jessica's humiliation would be public, career in jeopardy, David in tatters, and she still had no idea what was coming next. Final morning. Cabin. Quietly tense. Jessica moved like a ghost, distracted, nervous energy. Burned the toast, didn't notice. Eyes darting to her phone. Waiting for a message that wouldn't come. "We should head back early," I said casually over coffee. "Work." She nodded quickly. Relief palpable. Back to the city. Comfort zone. Didn't realize her comfort zone was about to evaporate. Home by late afternoon. Jessica bolted inside. Bedroom door slammed. Frantic tapping on her phone. Calling, texting, searching. I left her alone. Office, laptop, dominoes falling. Anonymous tip to her boss, ripple effect. Suspension, internal investigation. David, forced to resign. Affair with married woman, highlighted in email to his board. Public knowledge. Jessica would check work email eventually. Suspension notice. Didn't have to wait long. Scream of frustration echoed through the apartment. Hours later, bedroom. Jessica on the edge of the bed, face buried in hands. "What's wrong?" I asked. Feigned concern. Looked up, red eyes. "Work," she trembled. "Misunderstanding. Something leaked. Blaming me." Frowned, sat beside her. "What kind of thing?" Hesitated. "Emails. Photos, not what it looks like." Tilted head, blank expression. "What does it look like?" Silence. Damning. That evening, charity gala. Weeks ago, commitment. Jessica hesitant, frayed nerves, but I insisted. "Good to get out," I said. "Can't let work stress control your life." Gala. Jessica's usual scene. Glamorous, high-profile, people to impress. Tonight, a shadow. Barely smiled, eyes darting nervously. Excuse myself, private corner, final move. Gossip columnist contact. Sleazy but reliable. Owed me a favor. Article live. Headline brutal. Power couple crumbles. High-profile affair. Rocks elite social circles. Return to the ballroom. Whispers already started. Phones lit up. News wildfire. People glancing at Jessica. Pity. Judgment. She noticed. Eyes darted. Panic rising. Friend approached, sympathetic, pointed question. Is it true? Jessica froze. I don't know what you mean, she stammered. Damage done. Ride home. Silent. Jessica stiff. Passenger seat. Window staring. Hands clenched. Said nothing. Let the evening settle. Home. She broke. Did you know? She demanded, voice shaking. Know what? Even tone. Article. Photos. Everything. Voice cracked. Tears streaming. Shrugged. Saw it when everyone else did. Face twisted despair. Felt nothing. No pity. No regret. Deserved it. Next morning. More bad news. Suspension. Termination. Effective immediately. Personal bank account frozen. Another move orchestrated. Shared financial planner. Protecting our assets. Spent the day locked in bedroom. Frantic calls. Unanswered. Messages ignored. Friends, colleagues, even David, abandoned. Evening emerged. Pale, defeated, pleading eyes. Mark, I don't know what to do. Cold look back. Figure it out. Reality hit. Losing everything, including me. Jessica unraveling, cracks in her perfect facade. Days passed. Bedroom recluse. Hours on the phone. Salvage reputation. Career. No use. Every door slammed shut. Next phase. No safety net. Jessica, lifestyle queen, clueless about finances, joint savings, quietly transferred, empty shell left for her, tried to use her card online, retail therapy, battered ego. Call came fast. Mark! Shrill panic. Card isn't working. Living room yell. Walked in, feigned confusion. What's wrong? Card. She held it up, broken toy. Declined. Frowned. Strange. Let me check. Kitchen table, laptop. Logged in. Empty shell account. Hold on the account, I said, pointing at the screen. Bank. Fraud crackdown. I'll call them. Jessica slumped onto the couch, head in hands. What else can go wrong? Almost laughed. Next day, divorce attorney contact for hers. Jessica, too preoccupied to realize papers already filed. Courier arrived. Documents. Stared like foreign language. Divorcing me? Whisper. Nodded. Best. Eyes filled. No argument. What could she say? Ruined everything. Deep down, she knew. Weeks. Legal whirlwind. Jessica fought. Entitlement. Quickly realized. Always one step behind. House. Refinanced. My name. Car. Leased. My company. Nothing but personal belongings. Flawless credit. Plummeted. Strategically redirected debts. Credit cards. Her name. Assumed paid. Stopped months ago. Balances ballooned. No income, no access to accounts. Drowning. Evening. Kitchen table. Stack of unpaid bills. Shoulders slumped. Hands trembled. Phone picked up. Hung up. Who are you going to call? Doorway lean. Flinched. Startled. No one. Quick. Hollow. Stepped closer. Crossed arms. David? Head shot up. Wide, guilty eyes. Don't bother. Cold voice. He's broke too. Lost job, reputation, probably marriage. You two deserve each other. Tears spilled. No sympathy. You did this, Jessica. Threw away everything. For what? Fling? Cheap thrill? Didn't mean for it to happen, sobbed. Bitter laugh. Didn't mean for it. Planned it, lied, cheated, betrayed. Victim now. Guest room that night. Jessica cried herself to sleep. Satisfying. Consequences. In a way. But hollow victory. Destroyed her. What had I gained? Jessica. Shell of herself. Ghost in the apartment. Pale face. Drained energy. Spark gone. Spark that drew me in years ago. Extinguished. Tried to talk. Apologies. Desperate explanations. Silence. Didn't want excuses. Didn't care anymore. Divorce papers signed. Weeks. Court swayed. Overwhelming evidence. Infidelity, financial recklessness, moral failings. Granted almost everything. Jessica, bare minimum. Rent for modest apartment, tarnished reputation, but not finished. 2 weeks after finalized. Letter, single page, every word calculated. Dear Jessica, you probably think you've hit rock bottom, but wanted to make sure you understood. Why? Saw you that night. Greg's penthouse, you and David, terrace, kissing, like I didn't exist. Look so happy, so free. Did it even cross your mind that I might see? Did you care? At first, angry, furious, scream, confront, demand answers, then realized, not worth my anger, not worth the pain. What you were worth, revenge. Everything you've lost. Career, friends, security, not bad luck. Me. Made sure every piece of your perfect little life crumbled. Best part. You handed me the tools, gave you everything, Jessica. Trusted you, loved you, threw it all away. For what? Man who used you, just like you used me. Now you're alone, just like I was when you betrayed me. Goodbye, Jessica. Hope you think of me every time you see what you've become. Mark. Didn't expect response. Not looking for one. Letter for me. Final exorcism. Betrayal poisoned our marriage. 2 days later, phone call. Unrecognized number. New apartment, probably. Almost didn't answer. Curiosity won. Mark? Voice trembled. Jessica. Jessica, I replied. Even tone. Got your letter, she began. I don't even know what to say. I know I deserve everything. Hurt you. So sorry. But what now? What now? Repeated, almost amused. Yes, she said, voice breaking. You've taken everything. No job, no home, no life. Is this what you wanted? Destroy me completely, Silent moment, considering words. Yes, I said finally. Exactly what I wanted. Long pause, then whisper. I hope it was worth it. Hung up. Words lingered, more than I cared to admit. Brushed them off. Desperate plea. Broken woman. But over time, began to gnaw. Was it worth it? Answer should be simple. Betrayed me. Destroyed marriage. Deserved everything she got. Truth murkier. Quest for revenge. Became someone I barely recognized. Calculating. Ruthless. Cold. Won. But at what cost? Months passed. Heard through mutual friends. Jessica. Small town upstate. Waitress. Making ends meet. David. Vanished. Social scene ghost. Me. Tried to move on. Work. Hobbies. Friends. But hollow feeling. Chest. Revenge sweet. Not fulfilling. Realized truth. Revenge doesn't heal wounds. Just leaves you bleeding. Different way.